What's going on, y'all? I'm back with another one, of course. Got a brand new series review for y'all. I just finished binge watching the hell out of a show called The Undoing, starring Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant, and Donald Sutherland. First of all, HBO, for some years now, has been pushing out the miniseries, with two of their most noticeable ones, in my opinion, being The Night Of, which was good, and The Young Pope, which it dragged on a little bit here and there. Plus, the Pope, who was supposed to be this new wild radical Pope, he could have pushed the envelope a little further than what he did. He could have been a little bit of a wilder new Pope. Get me? But it was still a decent watch. Now there is The Undoing, which, with one of the head stars in it, already had a show called Big Little Lies, or Little Big Lies, or however that goes, on HBO. So with all that, will this be just as mediocre as the other ones? Or just as good? It's not bad, but it's just kind of in the middle. Or will it be one of the better ones, one of the best ones yet, as far as a miniseries? That question is soon to be answered. Let's get to it. The Undoing, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, and I'm sure you might not be aware unless you have HBO or HBO Max, I'm sure of that. The Undoing is about a supposedly happy married couple named Jonathan Sachs and Grace Frazier. You have a doctor who specializes in cancer on one side, and you have a psychiatrist on the other side. So almost a little perfect couple wrapped up in a bow, right? Now everything seems to be going well until one day a new girl infiltrates the wife's book club, or some kind of club she has going on. We're going to call it a book club, all right, to make things simple. We're going to call it a book club. But this new girl named Elena Alves seems to infiltrate it. She's younger. She's beautiful. She's easy on the eyes, and so a lot of the wives are kind of hating. They're kind of hating, okay, a lot. Even though she is a little weird, a little on a strange side. She's breastfed in front of them a couple of times, which shouldn't be too weird, but it is for some. Now, that may not be a big deal to a lot, but then one day, after some other strange happenings with this same character, she ends up dead in her art area, a little apartment she rented out just to do her art. She ends up dead, murdered. The question is, who did it? All right, and that's where the show kicks off. Now, positives. Man, I'm going to say off the bat, this show has a way of distracting you from who the actual murderer is. There's so many ways that it throws you off to think this might be the person, or this might be the person, or that might be the person, to where it's pretty much the perfect recipe, the precise recipe for a murder mystery. This is what you want when you watch a murder mystery. You don't want it to be extremely obvious, or you really don't want to guess the right one. Put it like that. And if you do guess who it is, it has to be like towards the end of the whole series. It has to be towards the end. If you're already knowing who it is in the middle of the show, it's not a good murder mystery. All right. So they did a good job with that. All right. Another thing. Remember when I talked about how many episodes a series should have? And yeah, we know this is a mini-series, but the other mini-series, they had more episodes. This is another one that had 6. But the reason it's a good thing is because the show knew how to work those 6 episodes. Unlike 2 Weeks to Live, this show knew how to work those episodes. They knew how to not cram, but just fit everything in there nice and neat. All right, like packing a suitcase the right way. They did this. They packed this show the right way. This show was packed to a way that they were immediately allowed on the airplane. This is like our metaphor like that. Okay, so I commend them for that. That is not easy to do with 6 episodes. And a miniseries, that's not easy to do. Honestly, they did it. Another thing that I liked about this, the bond between Jonathan Sachs and his son Henry Sachs was unbreakable. Completely unbreakable. They always had each other's back. You don't see a lot of bonds, father and son bonds like this in movies, and especially in life. In real life, you don't. But this was just, it was a good thing. No matter what the father was going through, the son always kept that same love for his dad. That was just so cool. It could be unhealthy to some people with, given the things that happened in this show. But still the son understood and he never lost that love. Okay. I like that. I really do like that. That's showing something that a lot of people in real life should take notes to. Now let's get to those negatives. Whew. Oh man. Speaking of the son-father thing, even though the son had his strong bond with his father, the son, good old Henry Sachs, I just couldn't go for the manner in which he spoke to his parents. This, if you can't tell by now, I have a thing with this. I have a thing with smart mouth kids. Okay, I cannot tolerate that. I can't tolerate it. They tolerate it a little too much. I was wondering, okay, is this kid, is he 14 or is he 26? What's going on here? Because he was, all kind of cuss words were flying here and there. And he was speaking to his parents like they were equals. That's just not the right time to do it with the circumstances. I would have even a outspoken kid would have understood to shut up. Just shut up. Shut your trap. Okay? Jesus. That's probably one of the characters I did not like for this series. Alright. I don't even know if I can call him a great trick. I don't even know that. Another thing that I did not like, which doesn't really hurt the show, but I just thought I'd have to mention this one. As far as the acting skills, now these are two well-known, phenomenal actors in most of the stuff they do. Don't get me wrong. Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. But let's talk first about Nicole Kidman's facial expressions. They are so inexpressive. Her face didn't change at all from happy to sad. It was the same face. I don't know what's going on there, but it was horribly noticeable. It was so noticeable. All right, and now I hate to rag on her like that. Other than that, she's a great actress. Okay, no shade thrown. I just could not put that to the side. I could not ignore that. Okay, it's something you can't just erase from your mind that easy. Then there's Hugh Grant. Maybe I've never noticed this in other movies, but when Hugh Grant has a character that has to cry, I wonder how Hugh Grant cries in real life, because he cannot cry like that for real. He really cannot be crying like that. He just was the worst crier. I could have sworn I've seen some bad criers on movies. He just was not believable as crying goes. Hugh Grant, man, get back to that acting coach, and put some extra classes in, bro. That's not working. That's not working. That method of crying is not working. It's whoo, bro. No, Hugh Grant, no. Now let's get that. Let's get it right. Let's get it right, Hugh Grant. One last negative that I'm going to kind of usher on in here is the ending. And of course, I'm not going to mention what actually happens in the end, because this is a murder mystery. I wouldn't do that to y'all. But let's just say I did not like how the ending went, because I had my own theory towards the end. Like I said, this is something that you're not going to be able to really click to you what happens until the ending, or so what you think is going to happen. So it's what I thought was going to happen that did not happen. And the way they went out of their way to make something else happen that you know damn well wasn't supposed to go that way. It really wasn't, not for a good murder mystery. It seemed forced. That last episode, man, it seemed forced. I didn't feel anything for that last episode. It was almost like the Twilight Zone, like another show had been broadcasted instead of the show I've been watching. That was that move they made, and they said that the ending was something that was pushed by Hugh Grant himself. What the hell were you thinking, Hugh? What are you thinking, man? Let the directors do their job. Maybe they had a better idea. But that ending, no, it's a no. Leave the thinking up to the directors and the producers. Can you do that? Please. That's all I can say about that. Also, I didn't like how they used the father, Donald Sutherland. I didn't like the way his character was portrayed or underused. I didn't like that. So with that being said, I'm giving this show an I cool. Yes, this show in my opinion was better than the other two I just mentioned. So it won that. It won that battle. It didn't bring it home with the ending. It didn't bring it home all the way. I did not like how that ended. Really didn't. Let's see what they come up with next. I want you to push that like button. Share the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And I'll see you next time.